goodness.
Hey, great news, fellas.
What's that?
Weekend coming up.
Oh, okay.
A little good one. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Losers Lounge.
And thank you. We're going to cut it short, right?
That's all today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Tough one. Nuggets fall to the Timberwolves, 111-98. Another Munder at home?
Dude.
Is that the Munder Dome we're playing in?
This stinks.
Ball Arena's the Munder Dome, but it's us getting Mundered. Man, what a tough one. 2 games in a row, the Nuggets failed to reach 100 points. This time it was the Timberwolves. Dominated the Nuggets. I mean, this game you're going to look at it and say 13 points? All right. Nuggets were dominated a lot more than that. We're going to have to break it all down, all together. There is a few things in there that are like okay to talk about. We got to figure out what this all means. I got D-line here.
What does it mean? What does it mean? Nothing, everything, but also nothing.
All right. That was the show in a nutshell. Over there, Superstar Dev.
I was excited for roughly 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was a good time.
And it was on the pregame show.
Yeah, those are good times.
Then I realized that Jamal was out and that this was not going to be a fun game. Mm-hmm. And then there was no more fun for the rest of the night on the Friday night with the fellas.
Yo, we had a pretty tame night with the fellas. We had a watch along. Bar was popping.
The table was set for a good night.
My mood could only be described as glum. I was a disaster on the watch along.
Yeah, dude, a watch along when your team's just getting worked. It's like,
it's not fun.
Where's the energy?
Yeah, you want to hide,
down.
and you're like, wait, not only can I not hide, I'm live on the internet.
All you're doing is complaining.
Yeah,
like, oh my God, you're just going to dribble that for that long? You don't see the guy in the corner?
Turns out Dev tuned into the watch along.
Yeah, I was very upset at Reggie for much of the night, especially the first half.
See?
Let's go into the fast breakdown, shall we? It'll be very fast, I promise you. There's not a whole lot of notes. MPJ, 2 quick threes. I always say it tells the story, fellas.
Wow, that is the story. That is the story of this
How many did he wind up with? Oh, 2. All right, he had 2 threes. He had them quick, though. Very quick. I think he had 2 of the first 3 buckets, MPJ threes. Gobert caught an elbow and lost his mind. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah,
lifted up his shirt,
showed his sports bra,
show that he had like some padding on. It was Jokic he had to have been mad at, and the officials.
He was yelling at the official.
Can we break this down real quick?
Yeah.
Did that look like an intentional elbow?
No, the way that I interpreted his anger was that he got called for a flop.
Was he called for a flop?
Yes, because there was a technical foul.
Oh.
No, that's why there was a technical foul. And he was incensed, saying, I didn't flop. I got hit here in the sports bra.
You know what? He's right.
I got hit in this sports bra.
Nobody wants to get hit there. No, he's dealing with that with a little rib cage issue. So, understandable. You know what? I love to clown Gobert. You guys know that.
Yeah.
I rule in his favor here. He's right. What? It's not flopping. He took an inadvertent elbow to the worst spot.
This is the worst Losers Lounge ever. Adam's really become a Gobert apologist.
I really have. I'm the biggest Gobert fan in the world, and I hate him. It's the weirdest thing on earth. Aaron Gordon playing great. That's another note I have. But Wolves open up a lead at the end of the first quarter. Nuggets played well to start, but they just let go at the very end of the quarter. With Jokic on the court, by the way, 33-26 Wolves. Second quarter, bench falls down 15, so back comes 15. I thought that felt so cool when I wrote it.
Dude, what a bar.
Nuggets completely dominated. Yoke comes back in, and it was like an immediate 10-0 Wolves run. They're down 25.
Another bar, dude.
62-43. Let's go to the third quarter. It felt like it was over, by the way. The Wolves were playing phenomenally in that second quarter. Unbelievable defense, scoring at will. It was humiliating, to be honest. Third quarter, Mike Conley catches fire. Nuggets fall down by their biggest deficit. They made a little false run at the end of the third, but then the Wolves went right back up. It was 87-64. What are we even doing? We're down 23 points. So I'll tell you what we're doing. We're giving the ball to Reggie and DeAndre Jordan and getting it out the way. And would you know it, fellas? They actually came back. They cut it to like 17 or something. And it actually made for...
That's the saddest
It almost was the worst thing that could happen because, Malone's looking at 25, but he's going to put Yoke back in. He's like, you know what? 17, let's go. Back to Yoke. Yoke dominated that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
In a way that was so annoying because he did not dominate prior to that, but he was dominating that fourth quarter and made it a respectable 13 points. But the true story, in my opinion, was that the Wolves really shut down what Denver was doing. No Jamal Murray in this game. No Karl Anthony Towns. Wolves really shut down Denver and what they were trying to accomplish, and they scored enough, especially in that first half, to get it done. All right, Dev. Red Hawk Roofing sponsors our big takeaway. So what's your big takeaway?
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is A lot of this game is going to be summed up by just not having Jamal Murray in this game. I mean, I believe them. But also, there's even a bigger point that you have to see in this. Jamal not playing in this game and Michael Malone and the team just saying how much health is like the biggest thing. These are the games that show you health really matters more than anything else. Because say that Jamal pushes it or plays in this type of game and then re-injures himself and they have to go through a playoff series without him, this is what this team looks like without Jamal Murray or at full strength. So like that health part, that really is the most important piece. You want Jamal Murray to be healthy. You want him to be okay in the playoffs and ready to go, because if not, we're going to see a lot more of that, and this is danger zone without Jamal Murray. So I think it's big on getting him back and getting him healthy so that the Nuggets get back to looking like themselves, because this has not been the Nuggets team that we've been seeing as of late.
We already knew this story, though. I mean, we've watched it for 2 playoff runs, and it didn't look quite that bad, but it definitely looked like not an imposing team. So we kind of know it, but they still should be better. I mean, look, here's one thing I'm going to go out and get out in front of. They didn't have Karl Anthony Towns. That's their second best player. Like, this whole thing of they didn't have Murray, to me, it is important, and we can talk about why Murray and Cat are a little bit different to their team. But from an excuse standpoint, Denver was not 20 points worse than the Timberwolves. They're not 20 points worse. They were tonight.
Yeah, dude. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway. Go ahead.
Can you not whistle?
Well, I couldn't right then. I got to warm up.
Yeah, you got to
there's too many people watching.
Okay.
Too many people watching.
That was it, huh?
Hold on. That was
you can't whistle for real, huh? Can you whistle, Dave?
Hold on.
Every now and then it comes in.
Are you kidding me?
Every now and then we get just the tiniest little
I
one.
got to work it up, man. I'm not blessed as a whistler, but I've taught myself to whistle.
Yeah.
That's my big takeaway. Whistling is not for everybody. My big takeaway is that it doesn't matter. It had nothing to do with Jamal being out. Like, the Nuggets they took their fucking foot off the gas again. They were doing this again. I hate this. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Nuggets have a switch. Nikola Jokic showed us the switch in this game. He came out so passive. Granted, he was getting doubled every time he got the ball, but he would kick it out to a wide open Reggie Jackson or some other guy that wasn't up to the task of knocking it down. It's just, they just played so lackadaisical. They were just getting cooked on defense. It was just so much stuff that is not what the Nuggets look like when they are fully engaged. It's not that they weren't trying. Like, they didn't go out and they're like, we're not even going to try tonight. It's just that they just didn't try. You know what I mean? Like, they were in it, but they weren't. They didn't have the right mindset, and they got cooked. And this is exactly what they did last year. I'm disgusted by it, but we're powerless against it. It's probably going to result in another Nuggets title. So what am I supposed to do? It's just like, unfortunately, we do a show about them every day. They don't care about us at all. I'm mad. I'm not mad. But Jokic did hit his 30 points, so he technically ate. So I was right, and that's all I cared about.
Did Jokic eat tonight?
He did. He ate in the fourth. He had a late. He was like.
He had a late meal.
He was like super European, dude.
That was so European of him. You're right. 10 o'clock. He's just starting dinner. He just turned the stove on, and you're like, "What are we doing?"
He's just
10 o'clock.
More tapas. More tapas.
Bring them out. That's a good takeaway. I think you might be right. I don't know, though. I will say this. I don't know that the Nuggets have taken their foot off the gas. My theory in the pregame show, for those that tuned in, was that Denver took their foot off the gas when they load managed over the weekend. And then they played against the Suns and couldn't fire the engine again. And then they played tonight against the Timberwolves, which tonight mattered. This is why I don't think this is why it would be kind of crazy for the Nuggets to take their foot off the gas when they were the 1 seed, and when they lost, pushed them down to a 3 seed.
Listen, I'm with you. I agree. It's like, we need max effort, but we didn't get max effort. Like, that's all I can do.
But that's why I don't think I think last year they took their foot off the gas. I think they were like, there's nothing to play for. We're literally going to relax here. I don't think that happened tonight. Here's my Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway. The difference between last year and this year, there's a lot of very hungry teams out there. Oklahoma City is hungry.
Dude, a lot of teams are visiting Circle K looking to eat.
Man, they're looking to eat, man. They are cleaning out the shelves. The Timberwolves are hungry. This was a hungry game.
Yep.
They played hungry. They played like a team that was unsatisfied.
Yep.
And you see Oklahoma City plays that way. Dallas right now is playing that way. Dallas has a sense of urgency. And look, some of this is circumstantial. The Nuggets have won a title. These teams have not. They're trying to prove themselves. They probably don't even know if they're... Think about it. The Timberwolves are not sure if they're for real. You know what I mean? Because they never won it. So they're trying to prove even to themselves. Denver not in that spot, but that's the difference between last year and this year, is that you are going to get hungry teams every single round. Not teams that are just like, don't know this or that. You're going to get teams that are like, no, man, it's our time. The Timberwolves believe it's their time, and they played a game like that. And I'm not saying it's not intimidating to the Nuggets, but to me, I watch it and I go, yeah, man, this is different.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about like how hungry this team was, and you wonder if Minnesota truly wanted this game. They played Anthony Edwards 39 minutes.
They're up 20.
He's out there the whole time. They're up big, and they just kind of wanted to prove a point. They had a game plan, and they were like stuck to the game plan. A lot of players stepped up and made sure that they wanted to prove a point to themselves of this is the defending champions, and we want to measure ourselves about that. But also, we really want this win to try to get that 1 seed or home, court advantage. So this is just not a win or just not a loss for one team. This was a team trying to prove a point, and I feel like they did that. There is a lot of hungry teams in this league right now that just truly want it right now, and this is a perfect opportunity for them to, just put fear or try to.
I think the Wolves might be the hungriest, honestly. And part of this is, like the Thunder, they feel like they have a lot of years ahead of them. You know what I mean? The Thunder feel like that. Even Dallas, like Luka, I think feels like it. These guys are a pretty veteran team. They have a lot of old guys. And I think they're not a team that you can say, oh, but wait till next year. They're going to be even better. Like Conley's old. Gobert's older. Like you never know. So I think they're especially hungry. And you just saw it tonight. We've always had respect for Minnesota and how good they can be and how much of a challenge specifically to Denver they can be. But that's one that I just feel like they're licking their chops for. The same way Denver has licked their chops waiting for their turn when they were waiting for Murray.
Definitely.
The Wolves have been waiting for their turn, and they feel like it's theirs now. And tonight, it was theirs.
Definitely. No, I mean, the that's the thing. It's like you can look at what Denver did all you want, what they didn't do. But as you both astutely point out, like Minnesota brought it.
Yeah.
Like even if the Nuggets were playing to the level that we expect, like that would have been a very difficult game to win because of the effort that the Timberwolves gave, the hunger that they're clearly playing with. They're hungry like the wolf, and it's I don't know. It's I mean, this is now the part that's the most frustrating about these last two games is that you just really want to see exactly where the Nuggets stand going into the playoffs against teams that are in the playoffs, teams that are fighting for their lives, teams that are showing the desperation that you're going to see. And the Nuggets just appeared to punt on both. And I don't think it's conscious. I don't think that they're just like, we're gonna hold our best punt. We're gonna be strategic here. We're not going to show them our best hand. It's just they went up against guys that were playing at 10, and the Nuggets were playing at 6, and then when they were like, oh god, okay, now we got to catch up. It's just too late. 2 games in a row, to get mundered twice. To get mundered by the Suns shows you
that's a terrible defensive team, and you get mundered.
Right, that's where you're like, oh god. I mean, you get mundered by the Wolves that are a stout defensive squad they're swarming defensively. You're like, wow, the Nuggets just weren't ready for it. But it's 2 games in a row now where you have to just be like, all right, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing, man?
The reason I don't want to say, because I've heard the take, and I was even talking to some people online earlier, there's, Denver could have won this one, some bounces, there's that. Look, sometimes it snowballs you. The aggressor gets the good bounces, and there were a lot of just tough bounces, tough plays here or there for Denver in this one. Naz Reid was 0 of 5 from 3. Anthony Edwards was 0 of 8 from 3. Denver still loses by 13 points. This was not a close game. Denver was down 20 in the fourth quarter. They cut it to 13 with a late run. So I do think there's something here that you just have to look at it and say, Denver, you got your ass kicked tonight. 2 out of 3 times now you've played Minnesota, you've gotten your ass kicked. The only time you won barely in Minnesota when they didn't have any of their guys. Remember, they were down everyone. So again, I don't think that is indicative of what will or would happen in a potential playoff matchup, but it is at least a sense of pride of, hey, Phoenix beat you in your building twice, Minnesota has blown you out twice, and you're probably going to have to carry those into the playoffs now, just knowing that's what happened. Nothing else.
I
All
agree.
right. Let's take our first break. On the other side, let's start to break down some of these players and talk about the matchups that we saw from them. Aaron Gordon, very interested to hear what you guys think about his night tonight. We'll get into that.
All right, guys. We love Breckenridge Brewery here on this very podcast in this bar. We're big
Love 'em.
Breck guys. Breck is, I would say, they're like our closest, longest homie. When your friends come back into town, you're like,
We go way back.
way back.
Yeah.
We go way back. We're
They
like
finish our, we can finish each other's.
podcast reads.
Yeah, podcast reads. Yeah.
And, they're the official craft beer of DNVR. They're made with 100% renewable energy. They're a company that cares about what they do here on planet Earth, which I appreciate. You can try some of our favorites out. The Avalanche Amber Ale for the Avs. Mile High City for the Denver Nuggets, if you're so inclined, if you want to forget tonight. Broncos Country Pale Ale. And the Funslinger. You can check out the beer locator at breckbrew.com to find a Breck Brew near you if you're looking for any of those specific beers or any of the other delicious offerings that they have. Breck Brew, if you want to forget tonight, and again,
You should want to forget tonight.
Absolutely
Yeah.
forget tonight.
Drink a lot of them, you'll forget.
It's really the only way to go. And Circa Sportsbook. Circa Sportsbook has been riding and rocking with us for now a week and a half while we were doing this watch along of the NCAA
By the
tournament.
way, I am going to win this tonight if Tennessee holds on. They were up 15 points. They're only up 5 now with 5 to go.
Oh, boy.
If they hold on, I win.
Well, all right. Whatever. Well, Adam got really lucky with a hockey goal.
I got really lucky with a hockey goal.
But whatever. Download the Circa Sportsbook app. They've got tight money line splits, low hold model. Games will strive to be a minus 110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sportsbook, which may use the minus 115 or minus 120 split. So what does that mean? You make more money.
Yeah.
You make more money
This
when
is the gambling app that's for sports gamblers.
truly, and
Made by sports gamblers.
yes, and they sponsored us all weekend. We're super appreciative of them. They obviously have a great casino in Vegas, but the app itself, download the app at circusports.com. Circa Sports bets can only be made while physically located in the state of Colorado. Must be 21 or older. All rights reserved. Circa Sports Colorado encourages you to gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org.
All right, we are back. Let's get into some of these matchups tonight. We'll just start with Yoke. 32 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 4 turnovers. He was a -9. 11 of 24, so below 50% shooting. Not very common for him. Dominated the fourth against Rudy Gobert. Dominated. But the first 3, I kind of feel like he was pretty bothered. What do you think, Dev? Was he bothered tonight?
I think he was a bit bothered, but it's also just so much attention on him right now because a lot of other guys are not, playing well. But also, taking away Jamal means all eyes are going to be on Jokic, and that's where it becomes tough. I do love the fact that he continued to be aggressive, to get downhill and score, to see that they are making up these switches. And this was a game that also I feel like he always continues to prove a point. Do not put Rudy Gobert on Nikola Jokic. You just can't, because it does something to you mentally. Your pride goes into that. If Jokic goes and scores 27, 28 on Naz Reid, he's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
If he goes and scores, 27, 28 on Rudy Gobert, there's some questions. We got to try to come up with a scheme, and they do a lot of that. I love aggressive Yoke. Even though the shots were not falling, he had 32 in this game. He could have finished with about 40. Could have had, 40 plus if he knocks down a couple of more shots. But just want to see him continue to be aggressive. I wish that it was him that was able to rest going into the playoffs.
I know.
But I'm fine with the fact that he still just seems to still be in a good spot of being aggressive, knowing he can score on whoever in the world. And even on these bad nights, I'm still going to have a good game.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a good game the entire game. That's the
It's
frustrating
late.
Uh,
thing is that he really, when it was clear that Malone wasn't going to take him out and it was time to save a little face, that's when he really turned it on. And it made me anyway feel like, man, why didn't you do this early on? I mean, this is the ultimate. It's ultimately unfair to Jokic all the time. The burden, it falls onto him. He is the king. Everything goes through him. So when you have a bunch of guys that you clearly can't rely upon, Unfortunately, yeah, like Jokic has to carry the burden, and he sort of did early on. It just, I don't know. Like I can't get mad at the guy. It's just a night like tonight is just super uninspiring by so many people, and that it starts with Jokic. I mean, he gets all the praise when it goes well, and he has to get some of the blame when it doesn't.
Here's a theory on it. I just told you that, you load manage games and then you could be a little out of rhythm. Here's a theory on it. They lost the last one to the Suns. Suns are in that potential first-round matchup zone. Lost this one to the Wolves. Potential second or third-round matchup zone. I do think there's something to these late-season games. Neither team wants to tip their hand, so you just end up going to default mode. We're going to do everything kind of straight up. We're not going to run too many of our pet plays. We're just going to kind of try to do it. And I think that there probably was a little bit of that tonight, even from Denver, of like, all right, I see that. I don't want to break it down or what have you. But that being said, still in default mode. It's rare to see Jokic go 11 of 24.
Yeah.
It's rare. He went 0 of 3 tonight. We always talk about late season. Jokic likes to kind of start honing in on his three ball. 0 of 3 tonight from the three-point line. So I definitely thought it was a B game from Jokic. It was just an A-plus finish, so you have that in your mind. But prior to that, not necessarily the best.
That's exactly right.
Aaron Gordon tonight, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. I thought he was great in that first quarter. The one thing that I'll hone in on that I think is not great, Anthony Edwards kind of had his way tonight. Most of that was on KCP. But even AG tonight, I don't know what kind of defensive impact he made in that first half, at least. So that's kind of my big note for him.
Yeah, you want him to get back to making these like impactful games on the defensive end. And I feel like with KCP there, it's always on him. But Aaron Gordon used to be the guy. That's who you look to be the defender. That's who made these type of impacts. And a lot of the defense the defensive numbers was predicated on if Aaron Gordon played well. So in these games, you want him to step up on that end of the floor.
Yeah.
What we see now with Jamal out is Aaron Gordon is have to be the primary ball handler, or they're trying to put him in spots where he's ISOing or just putting the ball on the floor. I don't love that for him. I think that his advantage is using his strength, using his physicality and agility down there, because he is an agile big who can finish around the rim, and he's also just a lot stronger than everyone else. So if you're putting him on ball, it takes him away from his strength, like what he's really good at. I love the fact that he knocked down his three ball, a couple of them in this game, because in a matchup against Minnesota, if they're going to force Rudy Gobert on him a lot of times, that means he's not going to be able to step out there. You have to knock those down, and I feel like teams are going to elect to see if he's going to be able to knock those down. So I like to see a few shots go in from him from deep, because I think that it's going to be needed in the playoffs.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon had
2 of 4 from 3 as
he had a weird night. Yeah, he had a weird night, man. He was getting kind of like cooked by Anthony Edwards at times. He was getting like
KCP is the one that got cooked the most.
I mean, they both did. You're right. They both did. Like just shaken out of their shoes. Like it was weird. It's weird to see Aaron Gordon he didn't seem very confident on either side of the floor. He had terrible turnovers. I mean, whatever. I have a hard time like really honing in on like the specific games of these guys tonight, because nobody played well.
Yeah.
And it was endemic of the entire squad. It was just like they all kind of came with the same level of like, we're in it, but we're not. So, and we saw this at the end of last year. I hate this. God, like just fast forward, man. Let's just get to the playoffs.
Was there anybody that you thought did a good job on it?
A good job?
Like, was there anybody that, because, I mean, some of this is you try some different guys out. Not really. He has such a pretty game.
Yeah, I don't think so. But also in these games, I feel like you're supposed to try different looks at him just to see how they defend him, and also if you can slow him down. I don't think Anthony Edwards is, like, incredible in this game. Like, he missed a lot of shots. But also, like, I don't feel like you feel Denver right now, like, defensively. I feel
That's
like
a great take.
You get to where they want. Teams, like, are like, okay, I'm going to pound the paint, or I'm just going to stick to the three. And there's not many adjustments on that end. So I just wish they threw a little bit more bodies at him just to, like, make them, be felt.
The guy that really killed Denver tonight, I thought, was Mike Conley.
He did.
He was so good tonight. I mean, he's always good. One of my takeaways from watching this game, he goes 8 of 12, 5 of 6 from 3. Not always going to shoot that well from 3, but he's a true floor general, low mistake guy. Murray in this series will have to really punish Minnesota, and that's going to be tough. Jaden McDaniels, they have guys they can throw at him. But the problem is, defensively, he doesn't have an easy assignment either. He's not going to guard Anthony Edwards. And Conley's not exactly like I got an easy one you still have to navigate a lot of pick and roll. You got to chase a lot of pick and rolls. It's an exhausting one. So that's another thing that watching tonight I was thinking about is Conley, even if you bring Murray back, it's still a hard defensive assignment for him.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's super true. It's why to be even like a little bit diminished against a team like this, it just really, really shows the difference. Like this is difficult to do. There's a lot of going on in the NCAA tournament. Looks like there's a big comeback being mounted. Duke and
no, it's Duke is
Houston?
up on Houston with up 3 with 17 seconds.
Oh boy,
Yeah, it's a tough one. What do you think of the Mike Conley piece? I mean, he's another just tough cover.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just the way that their offense operates because they have so many actions with him coming off of so many screens, but you also have to give a lot of attention to Anthony Edwards. Also, you have Rudy Gobert down there. When they add Karl Anthony Towns, that's like a new wrinkle. Like, they do have, like, a really good offensive team and also defensively. But it's just a lot going on at all times, and if you're not in sync, it is going to be tough. Mike Conley is a tough cover. He can shoot the 3 ball. He gets to his spots, a good passer, high IQ. So it's a good matchup for Denver. I think that they match up well with Denver.
And then Naz Reid tonight goes 2 of 12, 0 of 5 from 3, yet he was a
Michael Malone in shambles.
Well, he was a plus 14. He was a very impactful player. 7.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Another guy like, here, let me ask this question. It's kind of a tacky one, but I'm going to ask it.
Oh, boy.
Do you fear the Wolves more, less, or the exact same with Karl Anthony Towns?
Less.
So you think him being out might actually make them better? Or
no, I'm saying like I guess I fear them less when they don't have him.
You fear them more when they have Karl
I fear
Anthony
them
Towns.
more when they have Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
Not having them gives me a little reprieve. I don't, but I mean, the Bulls make me nervous, man. Like, just in general, they make me nervous with or without Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns just gives you that extra defensive dynamic on Jokic that, you can't replicate with a Naz Reid or a slow-mo just because of the size. And he can shoot. But, I mean, that team's got... It's funny because they don't have a lot of big names on that squad. They just they're all glue guys.
Yeah.
Just like a whole like a sticky glump of glue guys all together. They just all play really hard.
Jaden McDaniels was cooking tonight. 17 points for him. He was in his bag tonight. He was a guy that definitely
We need him
cooked.
to punch a wall, man. ASAP.
I'll talk about the guy, and I don't want to be whiny because again, it's just a game, whatever. And he was elevated to a spot, but Reggie Jackson drives me nuts.
He had a terribly annoying game.
He had 10 assists. He had 12 points, 10 assists. He shot 4 of 15. It was a rough night there. He did foul out. He had only 3 turnovers. I honestly think it's not just you're without Murray. It's that you're with Reggie. It's that you're going with a guy that is specifically, in my opinion, tough for that starting lineup and for Jokic in particular, because it's like his best skills are not Jokic ball.
Yeah.
And it just so tonight was one of those games that there was just so many plays in that first half that drove me nuts with him.
That's that's the big piece, and I'm glad that you came to it at this spot after who we just talked about. That's the difference. The drop off from Karl Anthony Towns to Naz Reid, there's still some advantages there. I think that Naz Reid is a really good defender. He's better defensively. Karl Anthony Towns, of course, is a better offensive player, but what do you need against a team like the Nuggets? The drop-off from Jamal to Reggie, trifling. It's really wild.
Yeah.
And,
Not even just talent, but style. It's style as much as
everything
talent.
about it is just, it's a huge drop-off. And then on top of that, you're now going to where you have Reggie with the starters. You stagger him with the bad bench, it just becomes a worse bench from a bad bench. Like, they already didn't have an identity or have things to go to, and now you have Reggie Jackson playing. There's nothing worse than having to play Reggie Jackson 36 minutes right now.
Yeah, it sucks.
36 minutes in this game. You're not going to win a lot of games with that. He's pretty good. He's okay in these spot-up minutes where you're relying on him, and there's like the sense of shock or like surprise because he gives you something. Maybe he knocks down a couple of shots, or maybe he makes an impactful play that could be momentum changing. But if you have to play him for 36 minutes, and really anybody in this capacity, you're going to see the flaws. You're going to see him get attacked on defense or on both ends of the floor. You're going to see the bad things that you see in this player. And Reggie Jackson's already so suspect to you noticing. You amplify all of his bad plays. Reggie Jackson has your 36 minutes option at this point. It's going to be hard to win a game against a team that also can, like a contending team.
Yeah, dude, it's like you buy like a yellow 3-wheeled motorcycle or something, like some weird vehicle. You ride around, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then like all of a sudden you have to use it to get to work every day. And you're like, oh god, it's snowing. I ride this 3-wheeled motorcycle.
Do you know somebody that's like that?
What do you mean?
Is there somebody in your life that you know that has such a scooter or something that they have
yeah, you're me, Eric Weedham.
Oh, that's right.
Well, you're right. I guess Reggie Jackson is in many ways my electric scooter. And so if conditions are perfect, it's the ultimate vehicle. But
it's a vibe, man.
If there's one drop of water on the ground,
you're screwed.
You are in big trouble, Buster.
You're in such trouble. It is funny, though. I will give Eric credit, though. There are a lot of nights you see it, Dev.
Oh, dude.
0 degrees outside, snowing, and there he is in his scooter. Just like, I'm going to go home in the slush.
I'm telling you, my official definition on this earth is I'm especially not a bitch. All right, but what I do is I ride the most confusing vehicle.
I love that your proof of that is that you scooter, baby. Not everybody will scooter around Denver like I know
how tough I am.
He's on wheelies on it on the side.
I have a Harley helmet.
Not everybody's tough like me, fellas. Suckers.
Listen, guys. No one can throw
that thing like 17 miles per hour.
25, you little
25.
That's right. You couldn't handle that thing.
I couldn't handle that power. Oh, man, the power in my heart. Why did Reggie Jackson play so many minutes tonight? Well, because Colin Gillespie's 5 minutes were a total disaster.
Jesus.
I'm not trying to be crazy about this, but I said it when it was happening. You go up against the short-handed Blazers team, he's going to look great. You go up against the even more short-handed Grizzlies team, he's going to look great. It's 2 games in a row where it was like, yeah, we can't do this. Not even for 5 minutes, we can't do it. And I take no joy in saying that, but it's just not surprising to me. This is why I'm always about what happened, not the numbers, not this, that, but what happened, and is that a thing that's going to happen when the competition rises? For me, that's why what I was always off the Gillespie train.
Well, it's just tough, man. This is the time of year that it's tough on a young player that doesn't have a lot of reps. Where
it is a tough spot to be thrown into. I agree.
He showed well against teams that aren't trying anymore, that are tanking. The Minnesota Timberwolves are not tanking in any way, shape, or form. They're going full bore. They're one of the only squads that the Nuggets are going to be like. The thing that's goddamn like this is the annoying part of this season, obviously, but it's like the Celtics are faltering, the Nuggets are faltering.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of teams that are, but the unfortunate part for the Nuggets is that they are not in a safe position. But they're still just approaching it in a way where, it's just not.
They know their bodies. They know, like, okay, we got 2 weeks. Do I feel like maybe that's a part of it? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not with you though on this idea that the Nuggets are going to be terrible from here on out, though.
Well, I'm not saying they're going to be terrible from here on out, but I do feel like the last 2 games are very similar to last year.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's over for their competitive spirit, but these 2 feel very, very familiar in the worst way.
Let's take our second break. On the other side, let's continue breaking this game down. Some of the takeaways from it. We'll also do a little ATA. There's some interesting ATAs today, so we'll get to ATA.
All right. Guys, Manscaped.
Yes, let's hear it.
Let's find down. Let's see. This episode brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped and Alyssa, who cleaned the hell out of this studio.
She manscaped this office, man.
She manscaped the hell out of this thing.
She manscaped for all of us.
She did. Alyssa, we're very, very thankful.
Alyssa's such a manscaper.
I couldn't agree more. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with the leaders in below the waist grooming. What are the carpets and the drapes in below the waist? Clear out that winter bush with Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like springtime flowers. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use Nuggets20 for 20% off plus free shipping. Manscaped, they gave us a Lawnmower 5.0. I know what you're saying out there. How much technological innovation could really be happening in between each one of these iterations.
It's crazy.
It's jarring.
It's jarring how much.
It's incredible. The 5.0. I thought I was cleaning my winter bush with confidence last year.
This year the confidence is unbelievable.
I look back at last year. I'm like, what was I doing? That was downright dangerous.
Yeah.
Not this year.
True.
It's I've got, I don't want to get too graphic, but
Well, thank you.
I've got shapes down there. I'm doing sculptures. You've ever seen Edward Scissorhands?
When he does the bushes. By the way, nobody in the chat has seen Edward Scissorhands. Every time I throw out a movie that's from before like 2010, everybody's like,
Listen, have you seen Edward Scissorhands? Okay.
You have? There you go.
I can tell.
Absolutely. I watched it like last week.
Oh my God, Dev has never seen Edward Scissorhands.
Just give me something about it. You
Tell
can
me
test me right now.
who starred in the movie.
Johnny Depp?
Oh, let's go!
Hell yeah!
Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah,
Let's go!
Unbelievable!
Yeah,
Wow.
he was in the neighborhood doing all the people in the neighborhood
Dang, he
stuff.
did see it.
Everybody's
He did see it.
turned on by how he's doing this stuff.
He
Cut somebody on accident, he gets banished.
Bro,
to
did
this
you really
whole little
see this
spot.
last
I
week?
just watched
He
this,
did.
man.
He did. Wow.
I'm just telling y'all.
Anyway, all of that happened to me too, but with Manscaped. Okay, so Empire
Send
Today.
it to Manscaped for us, Alyssa, will you?
Manscaped. Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. They floored this very studio. I have to say, it looks great. It truly looks great. They put in industrial grade flooring because we used to just scratch the hell out of our previous floor. And Empire Today came in and fixed us. They installed it in lightning pace. I was just taken aback by the whole process. Super professional, super incredible. Everybody knows the jingle. You've heard it your entire life. Call Empire Today.
You were going to do the everybody knows the jingle. You know the number.
800-588-2300 Empire
You
Today.
got it.
I just was trying to save everyone from my voice more than anything. And they use the virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how it'll look in your home. Go to Empire Today. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. Our listeners can receive $350 off when they use the promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DNVR for details.
All right, Harrison Wind is setting up from Ball Arena as we speak. He should be joining us any moment. I'm very curious to hear what he has to say about this one. What do we think about, real quickly, the Jamal Murray aspect of this? He's hurt. There's nothing you can do about getting hurt. But what do we think about this fact of him missing time right now? Are you concerned about it? Not just from a health, like, okay, is he going to miss play? Is he going to miss this whole run? But also from these reps kind of feel important. So it's weird to be missing time right now. Do you worry about that, Dev?
Yeah. One for Jamal, because, you want him to be at his best in the playoffs. He's incredible. The team kind of runs around him, and he's the reason that they get another championship. He is the reason that they back-to-back. But also the second point of your backup point guard, and this was what everybody was thinking about going into the season. Your backup point guard and primary ball handler is now Reggie Jackson. And while he has had his moments, you never want to play Reggie Jackson more minutes than what he should be playing. And with Jamal out, he's forced to play those type of minutes. I don't even know if it's a Reggie Jackson thing. You just don't want to put anybody in those type. You go back to Facu, you go back to Austin Rivers. They should not be playing that many minutes. And when you're forced to, you're going to look bad because you're not supposed to. You want him to rest up. You want him to get healthy. And now I wonder if Denver just continues to rest him because they don't fall to the 4 spot and they just accept the fact of being 3. Or do you just try to bring them back to get that rhythm? So now I think that they're in a sweet spot, or just that danger zone of making that decision of what do we do moving forward.
Oh, I hate that. It's so true, though. God, I hate that. I hate that they could just already accept the fact that they'd be the 3 seed. It bugs me that Jamal's not playing. It's not fair. It bugs me. It bugs me that he gets hurt every year. It's not fair. He didn't do anything wrong. It bothers me, though. I hate that it seemingly there's so many times when you're looking to Jamal Murray to be the second best player on this team, to raise the Nuggets floor, to elevate their ceiling at the same time, to be the running mate for Nikola Jokic. It's just so clear, how important he is to this squad. Michael Porter Jr. is a great player, but he's not the number 2. You don't get any two-man game with he and Reggie. You don't get any two-man game with any other player on the floor. It's the centerpiece of their offense. When they try to scramble and do anything else, they end up looking foolish more often than not, because you end up relying on guys like Justin Holiday, Reggie Jackson, Christian Brown, guys that just can't get it done offensively when you need it from them. It's it's totally not rational, but I'm frustrated by it. Come on, man, we need you. This was going to be a great push going down this stretch. The Nuggets are going to establish dominance. They're going to take the number 1 seed. They're going to show everybody that they are, and remind them that they're defending champs, and just discourage every other team that would even think to go up and oppose the Denver Nuggets. But that's not happening right now. What's happening is that all of these other Western Conference opponents are getting confidence against the Nuggets, which, what are you going to do? It's frustrating. Not his fault, but God damn it, man. Why does this happen every year, it feels like?
Alyssa, do you see Harrison's looking for the link there in the Nuggets assignments? He should be joining here to bed. I agree with you, and I think there is, I have to imagine it is a weird circumstance here. It's just, again, I don't know that, I'm not saying that you would blame a Jamal. Injuries can happen. But there is just something, too, missing extended periods of time when it really matters is such a bummer, and it's kind of been happening to Murray, it feels like, throughout his career here, these little breaks from it. So it is a little bit frustrating, to me at least, and I have to imagine it has to be a little bit as well. I also think Yoke's the ultimate, he's just resigned to his fate. He always has to go out there and be the one, all right, I got to do this short-handed. I got to go it alone. Anybody else? Peyton Watson only 11 minutes tonight. Nothing really noteworthy for me in either direction.
No.
But only 11 minutes kind of shows you, to me, that's a little telling that he only played 11.
Yeah, I think it's telling, and also I think that it's a bit alarming. This is a game that Reggie Jackson had to play 36 minutes, who's in the rotation. Christian Brown was slotted as in the rotation. He plays 26 minutes. Peyton Watson was left off of that conversation. He only plays 11 minutes. Is he really not in that rotation, or really does he have to continue to prove himself? Because if he's only playing 11 minutes down the stretch and they need him for a rotation spot, you go back to these type of moments where he's not learning, where he's not playing those type of minutes and going through it. I don't think he was great in this game, so, it's okay that he's not playing, but also, how is he going to learn if he's not playing in these times, even when it gets tough, or in these lineups where he can try to see how, pair himself up against Anthony Edwards, where they have these moments where they need that, or these other players. This is a playoff potential matchup, where they could go against each other. So you want to see him against these type of players. They played their starters. Play your rotation and just see what it looks like.
Yeah, man. These last 2 games have been super uninspiring for both Christian and Peyton. The 2 guys were looking to step up and take that fill his big shoes left by Bruce Brown last year. The guy that can come off the bench, bring energy, bring hustle, bring attitude, bring scoring. They looked so great against the 2 teams that didn't care at all. And then 2 teams that do care, they completely vanish. That is super alarming to me.
Christian Brown, by the way, 26 minutes tonight. Peyton Watson just 11. Holiday played 16. DeAndre Jordan 10. That to me is the interesting thing, is the minutes didn't go to Peyton tonight. All right, let's bring in Harrison Wynn. We have him live from Ball Arena. I'm very curious to hear what Malone had to say about this one. Harrison, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not that great, man. Not that great, to be totally honest with you. It was a rough night at Ball Arena.
That was a butt whooping.
It was an ass whooping. Reggie Jackson said we got punched in the mouth and that they punked us. And I would absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Yeah. Well, take us inside, man. How angry was Malone? How disappointed?
He was definitely more disappointed after this loss than the Suns loss. It kind of struck me how he was not super angry after they lost to Phoenix. And he was pretty pissed off after this one. He said we were not ready to play. We weren't physical. We weren't aggressive. And in that first half, we deserved to be booed off the court, to be honest.
Were they booed?
There were some faint boos. Sporadic.
I could hear from the DNVR bar.
I'd say. Yeah. He asked, how many turnovers did they have in the first half? The answer was 0, of course. And look, Malone said, look, you just can't show up, especially against a team like this. And he was disappointed. And he also had a lot of other interesting things to say. Just on the race, in the West right now, he said, look, this is not last year. We do not have a cushion. We're in a dogfight. Jamal being out's not ideal, but we've got to get him healthy. And like I said, he was disappointed after this loss. Another really interesting thing from Michael Malone tonight, it was obvious to me that Nikola Jokic's wrist was bothering him from the beginning of this game. He had his right wrist taped. That's the first time all season I can ever remember seeing that. It was obviously a storyline last year. Michael Malone said that he was surprised Nikola Jokic played tonight. He said he was surprised he played tonight. He said his wrist has been bothering him. But Jokic gutted it out and then came back in, down 18 points in the fourth quarter.
It's very interesting to me, Harrison, because this is actually a thing that has happened like each of the last several years, is that his wrist always hurts around this time of year, but it's usually the first round of the playoffs. So part of me almost wondered, it's like weird to think there's some like seasonal wrist injury that comes to Jokic. The spring gets here and it swells or something. I don't know. But part of me goes, it usually lasts for, I don't know, a week. Maybe it gets out of the way early this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know.
It got here early.
Yeah.
Very weird, very strange, very concerning.
Well, it was also weird, I thought, that he came back into this game, when it seems like they're being cautious with Jamal Murray, when, they've been so quick to point out that health is the number one priority. Bringing Jokic and the starters back in a game that I thought was over was pretty interesting to me. But Malone didn't really offer an answer on why he did that post-game, but he did say later on that like maybe this time of the year he's got to take his own blinders off and look at the bigger picture. And what I can take away from that is that I feel like in the heat of the moment he was just trying to win the game and just put him in because he was available to be put back in.
It is weird. I'm not surprised. I'm just used to Malone doing this now. He's like Tibbs. If they're down, they're within 40 points, he's going to put Jokic back in the fourth.
Yeah. Michael Malone, this is the last thing from him. He said he shouted out two guys in particular tonight, though. And he did say like he was proud of his guys with how they came out in the second half. He also put a lot of blame on himself for not having the team ready to play. He shouted out Reggie Jackson. He said Reggie left it all out there. And he said he also loved how Christian Brown played tonight.
All right.
Sweet.
All right. Moving on. We just spoke to Reggie Jackson as well. He said, look, we came out and got punched in the mouth. This was a playoff atmosphere, and they came out and punked us. Hopefully, we can change our mindset and get right. Guys are tired this time of year. Everybody around the league is tired. But you could tell Reggie was disappointed with just the fact that in a matchup like this, the magnitude of it, he was kind of pissed off with how they came out in the first half. And then he also had some good stuff to say about Minnesota, the state of the Timberwolves. He said, look, they're ascending. They're on the up and up. The biggest difference between them last year and this year, Anthony Edwards is a year older, a year wiser. Guys are just more comfortable in their roles. They're definitely a team to look out for. And he thought the Nuggets could look at this as a measuring stick game. Obviously, they didn't measure up.
Yeah.
That's what I got from the locker room. It was a pretty disappointing locker room for sure. Like everybody was pretty down after this game.
Don't love the vibes. The Murray piece of this obviously is going to hang over the head. The worst is they have a matinee game next against Cleveland, which to me is the ultimate, I just don't feel good about that game either. It's an Eastern Conference team. play some defense. I don't know. We'll see, man.
And I think you can rule Jamal Murray out of that game already.
Michael Malone, yeah, his pregame, he definitely sounded like that was not going to happen, that he might be out for a while.
Yeah. That's all I got, though.
All right, Win. Thanks so much, buddy. Get home safe.
See you guys.
All right, let's take our final break on the other side. A quick ATA and some super chats.
Oh, boy. Guys, I want to tell you about the Game Time app.
You want to get tickets to that game?
Earlier tonight when you were full of hope and optimism, you and your buddies were out around town. You're like, hey, why don't we go to that Nuggets game? It's going to be a big game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, the Nuggets are going to bring it. We should be in Ball Arena to cheer our favorite team on. You'd have been an idiot, but if you used the Game Time app, you could have gotten some of the best pricing. You can look on the app, find exactly where you're going to be sitting. You can use the feature where it shows all-in pricing, so there's no surprise fees at the end like you can get with other some of the competitors. You'll get the lowest possible pricing out there, and you really can take advantage of the fact that you're sort of just around and you're open to going to an event maybe you hadn't planned for ahead of time. The Game Time app is made for you specifically, a procrastinator like myself. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DNVR. You get $20 off of your first ticket purchase. That can be, if you're going to Rockies game, that might be the entire ticket. We'll see. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
There you go.
And then also we've got American Financing. Excuse me. Are you waiting to get out and shop for a new home? The market is warming up and you need to get out shopping. Lock in your price before it heats way up. This is a big thing in Colorado. There is a season for home shopping. This is a very hot market, as I'm sure all of you that are listening to this are very aware. American Financing gets you a pre-approved letter in 24 hours or less. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are in it for you and can get you into a home for as little as $1,000 down.
That's wild.
That is wild. I mean, Adam will tell you, I'll tell you, one of the best financial moves you can make in your life. Dev will tell you also, one of the best moves you can make in your life is to get into a home, to get into home ownership. It really takes you to the next stage of your life. And it probably is not as unattainable as you think it is. It's worth giving these guys a call. You can call American Financing. It takes 10 minutes for a no obligation phone call today to get you into the best investment you can make in Colorado, a home. Call today and tell them DNVR sent you at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or go to americanfinancing.net/DNVR, NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 start at 6.799% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
Your wallet. Oh my God, his wallet.
You want to use American Finance.
You just leave that anywhere?
Apparently.
Congrats on third place, Adam.
I don't understand it. Every time I leave, somehow the scores are insane. I bet like $400 on it. It's wild.
You bet like $220
All right.
on a heavy favorite.
They were a 2-point favorite. What they win by? All right, let's go. Let's do a quick ATA here, Dev. A quick one. A speedy one.
ATA. The Rockets get their 11th straight win.
This is the wildest story, man.
They just continue to win.
Are they the best team in the league?
At the very
Jalen
moment,
Green
yes.
continues to play extremely well. He had 34 points in this one.
You know what? We keep talking about vote. He's been writing that check about the Celtics. What if you batch up? D-Line's been talking a lot about Jalen Green.
I'll call American Financing and get all of my money in my home onto anti-Jalen Green bets.
Say the stat line, though, before you put that money down.
34 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists.
Yeah.
He's doing the damn thing.
He really
and
is.
they're winning games without Şengün. That part is the one that gets me. John Collins on the other end had 30 points, 11 rebounds.
Nah.
Colin Sexton had 29 points.
Okay.
To keep it moving, this one I had to talk about. It's not a big game, but I've just never seen this before. The Miami Heat win 142 to 82.
What? How did that happen?
Miami scored 142 points. That never happens.
What's
When
Chelsea doing?
When you look over here,
He's trying to get a number 1 pick.
guess who had the most points in this game? Our old friend, Thomas Bryant.
Thomas
What?
Bryant was the
11
leading scorer.
11 of 17 from the field, 26 points, 12 rebounds.
What is the NBA?
He's a plus 31. The reason I say that he's a plus 31, the plus minuses in this game was insane. There was a minus 49 for Chris Murray, but Scoot Henderson broke a record, a new record.
Wow.
Minus 58 in the game.
Minus
50.
Bro, that hurts. You can't look at that and be like, I don't know, man.
You think
kind of
about
got
that.
killed
like,
while I was out there.
poor Chauncey, he has to coach them through that. Like,
Well,
this is brutal.
He's clearly not. So.
He's like, oh, timeout. I
You
don't
just gotta
know.
get good
You guys have any
speeches.
ideas here?
Like, what do you
Crazy.
say to a grown-up that gets paid all this money, man? I want y'all to go out there and have
He's like,
fun.
hey, Scoot, why don't you try blocking something? Why don't you get and stay in front of somebody?
It's wild. Oklahoma City continues to win. I thought that the Suns found something. I thought that they were
Yeah, I did.
playing better.
Oh, because they
it
had
turns
one
out
in a row.
Turns out they found the area where the Nuggets don't care.
128, 103. Thunder keep it going. SGA didn't even play in this game, so I thought that this
Man,
was
he's
going to be
been
like a slow it down type of game or them not find anything. What did they do? They just had everybody scoring and in double digits. Josh Giddey led them. 23
Bro.
points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. He's been playing
He's
well
been
with them.
balling.
He's been having
He's like, to me,
himself
I
a
keep saying all year, Josh Giddey is the weak point there. That's like why in the playoffs, I'm worried about him. He's been killing everybody.
He's turning back the clock. Hopefully not too far back.
Yeah. He's good.
Stop.
What are you talking about?
Stop.
The New York Knicks lost 126-130 to Wemby.
Just to him?
You don't usually talk about the Spurs. You don't care. But when I go through this stat line, this was the game of the night. Jalen Brunson had 61 points.
What?
61.
Yo,
And a
and
loss.
they lost?
25 of 47. I repeat, 47 shots in this
He
game.
shot
Bro, he had
47
61. We've had
points?
3 players
Shots?
this year lose after scoring 60. 3 players.
47 shots in a game. The second was Josh Hart. 13 field goal attempts.
Bro,
47.
that is a wild night. Look at that. 13, 47. That's
He shot
insane.
the ball. Jokic shot like 6 times in the first half.
How many points Jokic getting if he takes 47 shots?
Let's see. How many points do you get per shot? 47. I just did the math. 94.
All right, all 2s. No 3s taken.
Also in this game, they only
Or
lost
free
by
throws.
4 in overtime. Precious was a minus 30. You want to talk
In
about
that is
16
bench.
minutes.
You want
That
to
is
talk about
precious.
bench woes?
That is precious.
They was bad. The reason I said that they lost to Wemby, his stat line: 40 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists.
Oh my God.
He almost had a 40-20 triple double. Like that would have been insane. He only had 1 block, but the Spurs don't have to win, but they have a guy over there that could just get you a win. What was the point of winning this one?
Just for ATA.
For the love of the game.
For the love
For
of the
the
game.
love of the
baby.
game. The Golden State Warriors win 115-97 over the Charlotte Hornets.
Ooh.
The big thing about this game, Draymond Green did not bet his under. Probably still had an under though. He played 28. If his under was his over under was 7.5. He finished with 8, so he might be good. But not really anything else in that game. The Pacers won 109-90 over the Los Angeles Lakers. They welcome back LeBron after a big win. They lose. 16 points, 10 rebounds for him. Anthony Davis had 24 points, 15 rebounds. And Austin Reeves had 16 points, 13 rebounds. So they had 3 double-doubles, still a loss. The Pacers, who was like early season darlings, I mean, they just are like meh right now.
You
But
remember
they
how
got them a win.
Halliburton was taking the league over? Turns out that they peaked in the in-season tournament. The Pacers and the Lakers.
You don't
Yeah.
even hear about Halliburton right now. Yeah, this was a in-season tournament like rematch. They wanted to just get that back.
Thanks for.
The Clippers win 100-97 over the Magic. I just don't hear much about the Clippers, and also the Magic have been really good in winning games. Kawhi Leonard had 29 points, 11 rebounds. Paul George just came back to like earth. I haven't heard a lot about him. He had a mediocre game, 12 points, 4 rebounds. I don't know if he's been playing well, but I don't love the Clippers as much as everybody else loves the Clippers.
Who loves it?
You're
Only
right. I'm so
ESPN.
sick of everybody loving the Clippers.
I mean,
Nobody loves the
when you
Clippers.
when you
Every
talk
year,
about the teams
every
out
year
west,
they get talked
about
about
to
as
say,
a fake.
they
as
get
a
talked
conference.
about.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, yeah, you're right. In January, they had a moment there where
Every
everybody came
year.
out.
it's every January.
That's every January. Yeah.
January. It's so annoying.
Right now, nobody loves the Clippers.
Yeah,
I know.
And to finish it off, the Dallas Mavericks comeback win, 107-103 over the Sacramento Kings.
That's 2 in a row in Sacramento. They had the doubleheader in Sacramento and got both of them.
Kyrie Irving had a monster fourth quarter. He finished with 30 points. Luka, who was not supposed to play in this game, played in this game. 26 points, 12 rebounds. 12 assists, 9 rebounds. So a near triple-double. But they're big too. They're winning games. They're playing extremely well. Sabonis had a triple-double, of course. He is locking that up. He'll be the triple-double king for the year. They're going to have an early out. I just can see it. I know it's happening. 30, 12, and 10. De'Aaron Fox had 23 points. And we went around the association with teams in the West.
Oh, man.
Well done, Dev.
What a great job.
All right, let's wrap up the week by getting some super chats. We can't see them, so we got super producer Alyssa reading for us.
Yeah, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties tonight, man. Super chat from Madix. Denver says they want health, so they rest a questionable Jamal. Then they play the starters down 20 with 5 minutes to go. That makes 0 sense.
It was very weird.
What do we? Nothing makes any sense. We're not here to make sense.
Malone is weird with that stuff, man.
We don't make sense. We make chicken.
It also is like, whatever. I don't want to. It's too
whatever.
late. I'm like too tired. It's too late in the year for me to be going, you should get minutes for Pickett and Strother, and that's good learning. It's like, whatever, man. It's just, that's the way it's going to be, and where are we going to swim upstream on
Thanks
this?
for the chat, Madix.
You're right. I'm with you.
Big Honey says these past 2 games have not been fun to experience at all. Vibes are down, boys, but at least Nuggets fans all suffer together.
Yes, we do.
Man, you reminded me.
Nobody suffers together like we do. You know what I mean?
So true.
Even when we win, we're just still suffering all
So
the time.
true,
It's
man.
so great.
So true.
Denver Ghost says last March we lost to the Bulls, Spurs, Nets, and Raptors all in a row. Lost to Phoenix at the end of the month. I forgot all about that. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True. At
so-
least these are better teams to lose to.
Yeah, it doesn't feel better.
It does feel a lot better. I'm glad that we lost to Phoenix and
So cool.
Minnesota.
Dude, we are making a pretty impressive list of teams we're losing to.
Yeah, so true.
Nuggets,
But honestly, I agree.
Nuggets Pimp says, yo, where was the mukbang tonight? Miss having Bruce's energy off the bench. Can't wait for the playoffs. Still 15-4 since All-Star.
You know what's true is that we actually did kind of have a mukbang tonight.
Yeah.
We were down there. Dre was stuffing his face with quesadilla. RK was eating a wrap, mukbang style. So that's where it was. It was on the watch along.
The boy's dad says, pathetic first half, and NFW, should Reggie ever have 15 shots, MPJ 9.
I mean, honestly, it's not a coincidence. That's what happens. That's what happens when those two are on the court together.
Adam's resident Red Hawk. My goodness. My big takeaway is Adam needs to stop taking unsolicited photos of me and my family in his backyard, or I'll leave a present in his car. Dev, you're a star.
We have a bird now super chatting?
Yes, dude. You don't know that.
This is incredible, man.
Earlier on the watch along, I'm sure you all saw, Adam proclaimed loud and proud that the top bird is a crow or a raven just because they have rudimentary intelligence skills. Clearly, this red hawk was incensed by this.
We said non-birds of prey.
You know what, though? The bird gave some dev love. You know what? I might be a bird guy. I might be a bird guy now. I have the book.
You got the book. You do have the book. You know your crows and ravens.
It's hilarious.
Nathan Wise says, Nadir, question mark?
Is this a nadir?
This is a nadir. We're in a deep nadir.
Ah, the nadir's coming late.
You know what always happens? The highest peak followed by the lowest nadir. They always say it's always darkest in the nadir before dawn.
Well, that's encouraging. It's very encouraging.
Super Dope Hip Hop says, Wolves healthy, tough matchup for anyone. No Jamal Murray, Nas, 23 points.
Yeah, Nas did drop a banger. Best one since Illmatic.
Next one from Bashir. Did tonight show why RJ didn't play in the playoffs?
Did it show? I mean, yeah, it is important to remember that he was not selected to play in the playoffs last year. I mean, they didn't need him. They had Bruce. I'm just worried. I don't want to be that guy, though. I just don't want to be that guy.
Can I tell you something? You are that guy.
I am that guy. Just telling the truth.
Just
the
getting
truth
mad
teller.
We're just getting
Just
mad
the
about
truth
Reggie
teller
Jackson.
over here.
Yeah, just getting mad about Reggie Jackson plays a very frustrating brand of basketball if you are used to Nuggets basketball. But what Reggie Jackson plays is called Houston Rockets basketball, but that's working for them.
Damn it, the Rockets are on a run.
Chunk says, scootering is the most economical and practical form of transportation. Chunk loves a good scoot.
I bet that's not Chunk. I bet that's Chunk Dickwells.
Is that Chunk Dickwells? Yeah. I was like, wait, who said that one? What'd you say?
If
Chuck?
I would guess that was Chunk Dickwell's burner. That was such an astute point. Chunk Dickwell's burner. You're so right about this.
Yeah.
Some of us care about the environment and not being a bitch at the same time.
That's why you got the scooter. That's right. That is right.
The real Mr. Crispy says Celtics looks like the Giant this year, but their bench is Peyton Pritchard and Al Horford. It's all about the starters, and I choose our guys with Reggie, CB, and P. Watt over anyone else. LFG.
There you go, man. That's the positivity we needed.
Let's go. Dude, I love that. I love when the super chatters are better people than we are.
Way
You know what I
better
mean?
people.
5555-ish says Nuggets must have saw the Rockies opener and said, hold my beer. 0-2 since Eric said we would win our next 10 straight.
Yeah, we don't
Apologize
need to
to
read
the
the rest of
basketball
that.
gods.
Come on, don't be a jerk.
Okay, Chuck Dickwells again says all the folks given tonight, and we scooted our way out of first. By the way, what does a T-Wolves fan and a bottle of Breck beer have in common? They're both empty from the neck up.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, what was that name one more time?
Yeah, who was that?
Sped real through that. Chuck Dickwells burner.
Oh, it's Chunk Dickwell's burner
Oh,
again.
Chunk
Okay.
Dickwell.
Chunk Dickwell, yeah.
Burner.
Well, his burner.
The
Yeah,
burner.
his burner.
Chunk
It's
Dickwell.
not the
burner.
real Chunk Dickwell.
No, Chunk Dickwell wouldn't say these things.
No,
unless
come
through a
on,
burner.
man. He wouldn't say
My
that.
bad. My bad.
Says, are we seriously fearing a team with a front court duo of Cat and Gobert? Huge playoff droppers. McDaniels has low IQ. Minnie is built for 82, not 16.
I mean, all right. I think they're a good team. And I think the Nuggets are better, but we'll find out.
We'll definitely find out. We are fixing to find out.
Super chat from Graham says, paid $157 to go to this game with my dad. Now I'm paying to complain about it with guys. This one sucked. Appreciate the post game. As always, though.
Hope we picked your vibes up.
Yeah.
You picked ours up. I hope we picked yours up.
This just sucked because it was like an expensive game. You know,
Oh,
like
it's the
on a
worst.
Friday
On
night.
a Friday, dude, this
You
was
just-
like, oh my God.
I'm sure that they were just ready to have a great weekend.
Dude, they were, oh my God.
Now we got to wait till Sunday. Now you got to wait till
No,
Sunday.
we got to wait till the playoffs.
Bubbles Buzzer Beater says, crying into my McDouble because we played like McRae. Liz A 5280 been making many excuses for our bench. First time in months. I don't see us winning the season when our starting five still don't seem to have a break in between games. I need another drink. LOL.
Tough times out here, man. It's hard out here
Tough
for
times
him.
in the rough.
Cedric Exquisite says, who cares? We'll be okay. Jamal, please come back. Hi, Eric.
Hey, what's up, this is Cedric? Oh, wait, is that from you, Alyssa, or from Cedric?
No, he has a hand-waving emoji.
Oh,
me
okay, I
too,
just wanted
me
to make
too.
sure.
Hey.
I just wanted to make sure.
A last one here from Chunk Dickwells.
What's the name?
Who was this one?
I got it. I got that one this time.
Who was
Okay.
it?
I'm not falling for it again.
Okay.
That was it.
I just didn't know who it was from, so I didn't hear. I thought I couldn't hear what she said.
Yeah, Liz, we need to attribute the thanks to the right user,
Yeah.
so we need you to.
We don't have
Sean?
a monitor, so I got to
You can
hear what
clearly
you
say
say.
who it's from.
Yeah, who it's from.
Sean?
Music.
Dickwells Burner.
Oh, it's Chuck Dickwell's burner
yeah,
again.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Chuck Dickwell's
Why don't you just say the same guy?
Yeah, okay. All right. Why would you do that? All right, cue that outro music up. Friday, fellas. I'm not sure I like basketball anymore after this 2-week run of it
I'm
on.
so over it.
I kind of hate basketball.
I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it sounds. I hate the rules. I hate the players.
Hate everything about
But-
basketball.
On Sunday, Jokic is going to wake up and everybody's going to say, he has risen.
Get us out of here on that. Hit that like button on the way out.
We all silly like the mayor.